What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. We got a serious, unexpected turn of events here that Russian President Vladimir Putin has pulled, which could be a dramatic problem for Ukraine and for the entire war here. Take a look. Yeah, Russia has raised their conscription age limit. This is their basically their draft. And what they have done here is raised the age limit, the upper threshold that they're going to take millions of men and send them into war against their will. Take a look. Russia expanded its military conscription, think draft, conscription base after a vote to raise the upper age limit from 27 to 30 passed in the lower house. The bill, once signed into law by President Vladimir Putin, is expected to add 2.4 million men to Russia's forces and will prohibit conscripts from leaving the country once they are called up for duty. So this would add potentially up to 2.4 million troops, million men to Russia's forces. That is a lot of people. That's potentially double the size of Russia's current army. These are people that would be added to the war, to Russia's army against their will. If they wanted to be added into the war, they would already be there fighting for Russia. They would have already signed up. They would already be in there fighting. If they felt the will to go and fight for their country, they would have already been in there fighting. So this would be Russia thereby drafting people against their will, people that didn't want to already fight for Russia. And Russia would be saying, sorry, too bad. We're going to draft you. We're going to take you against your will. You're going to go and fight for Russia and potentially die. Anyways, yeah. And remember, this comes after the Wagner Group leader, Prigozhin, has went out and said that everything that Vladimir Putin has said about the way they went into the war, the reason they started the war, was a lie. Yeah. So, and that, the Ukraine is Nazis was not true. This is, Prigozhin, the leader of the Wagner Group, came out and said this and basically went against Vladimir Putin. And came out and said that this was not real. And remember that Prigozhin is still out there, still the leader of the Wagner Group. And, well, it remains to be seen what will happen there. Now, this could actually change the tide of the war. This is a really big issue. This actually could escalate things because we could see what NATO will do to combat this. This is a lot of men. Of course, they'll have to be trained. It will take some time. They won't just go in there immediately because these will be untrained people. So it will take some time. But if you see here, here is a current map updated a few days ago. I think they update this about weekly. This was updated on July 20th from the BBC, areas of Russian military control in Ukraine. Okay, so this is BBC is pretty much neutral. They're a European publication, and you can see the red here is what Russia currently controls in Europe. You can see all the white part here is Ukraine. The red part is what Russia controls. Anthony Blinken, the Secretary of State from the United States, has said that Ukraine has recaptured 50% of the territory that Russia seized, according to the U.S. Anthony Blinken, Secretary of State. And so this is the current map of what Russia had. If you look back here, here was the progress of what Russia had. This is kind of accurate because if you look back here of what March of 2022, see there's a lot of fake news out there, and This is why I always like to try to show the truth. I like to try to show a realistic point of view. In this particular case, I'm showing that Russia is going to, with these 2.4 million new men coming in, they are going to have a very, very strategic advantage coming forward. But in the past, Russia had, if you can see here, all of this red. They had, land up right up into Kiev. If you remember the transports and the caravan of tanks that went into Kiev at the beginning, and that was stifled, that was pushed back, and then they, didn't try again. That was right at the beginning of the war, and they had all this red land here. They don't have that anymore. Okay, but that was right at the beginning when they had the element of surprise. They don't have this land up top here anymore. And so this was back in March of 2022. They've been pushed out of that land. Here's a map of November of 2022. And the purple is held or regained by Ukraine. And then, so this was June of 2023, last month. So you can really see here, they did lose a significant amount of land. So, people that say, "Oh, Russia is winning the war," I just think those are just Russian bots in the comment section, or people that are just listening to um, a specific point of view that are giving, in my opinion, the wrong point of view. You can let me know your thoughts on this. Now, if you're listening to a point of view that says, "Well, Russia or Ukraine is being decimated," I would agree with that because, Ukraine is being decimated. I mean, they are taking heavy casualties. But Russia is not winning the war. I mean, they have been pushed back dramatically. If you just look at the maps, and I mean, they fought over, cities for hundreds of days here, and didn't win certain cities, and they've really lost ground. They've lost ground. But now Russia's going to be potentially calling in 2 million more men. That is a very, very deadly scenario. Um, Ukraine might not be able to withstand that. That's a very, very heavy, heavy type of situation. That's just utter catastrophe for Ukraine. How Ukraine's going to respond to this, how NATO is going to respond to this, that's just going to be really, really tough. We'll have to see what happens. Let me know your thoughts on this. But seeing those maps kind of puts a better perspective for a lot of people, because sometimes you hear, you know, pro-Russian people, you hear pro-Ukrainian people. I try to just give a more realistic point of view, and I feel like seeing that gives a lot of people a more realistic point of view of what's actually happening here. Um, but this is going to be a dramatic turn of events for Russia. For Russia. Now, don't get me wrong. This is not going to happen, this week where Russia is going to be able to send in 2 million more men. But this is going to happen at some point where they're going to start training, and then some are going to start coming in there. Um, the problem here is that we're going to see some comments in the comment section, maybe even a lot, about that they should make a peace agreement. The problem with the peace agreement is that Russia wants Ukraine's land, they want their people, they want their resources, they want to take Ukraine, part of Ukraine, even parts of Ukraine that they don't even occupy. Okay. So they want to say, hey, we want your land, we want your resources, we want your people that live on the land, people that maybe don't even want to be part of Russia, and say, you're now Russia. Ukraine does not want to do that. Maybe some of the people are okay with it. Maybe some people aren't. But in general, the president, and them saying, no, this is not okay with us as a negotiation tactic. We're not okay with it, and that's why the war hasn't ended. That's why they haven't had a peace negotiation that said, okay, we'll do that. Okay, so that's why there hasn't been a peace negotiation that says, yes, this is okay. Um, so Ukraine's not willing to say we'll give you up the land, even though you tried to invade us, and you have maybe what is it, 10% of the land now of Ukraine. They still had 90% more to go if they were to say win the war. Um, so this could be a long, drawn out thing. In fact, Russia's second in command, Dmitry Medvedev, who used to be the president in between Putin's terms. He was the president in the middle, and maybe is the second in command if something were to happen to Putin, unless Wagner were to maybe take over there. He said that this war could go on for decades. Decades. So let me know your thoughts here. This could be getting even more brutal, and this definitely changes things. What are your thoughts here in the comments? I'll keep you up to date here. I may be having some special guests here on the show here coming soon to give us some more point of view here, some realistic point of views. Yeah, so if you haven't yet, subscribe down below, click the bell icon so you don't miss out on any new videos. New videos come out here on our YouTube channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to like and share these videos for anybody that needs to see this information. It's completely free to subscribe. And click here to see, did they just cross the line? The U.S. pushes North Korea and China to the edge. Or click here as a nuclear explosion is about to happen as people evacuate. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.